and let me know who is going to do that one.
That's away?
Affirm, if you
access to
are done with the ERAD, you can put that back. Maker, we lost your WVS again.
Roger. Get to that here in just a second, Mike.
Copy that.
All right, we want to be in position for bolt number 2, right?
Affirm, bolt number 2.
Okay. There's WVS and confirm settings still Alpha 4 clockwise 2.
Those are good settings. You can re-trigger EDF number 2.
This view from Mark Vandehey's helmet camera as he works with Scott Tingle to conduct what is called a final torque of the expandable diameter fasteners, these stiffening connectors, if you will, that will hold the degraded latching end effector tightly in place on a stowage bracket on a spare parts platform, external stowage platform number 2, right outside of the Quest airlock. We're 3 hours, 48 minutes into today's spacewalk, the 206th in support of space station assembly and maintenance.
Yeah, that was 0 turns, green light, 6.1.
Good install on EDF number 6. And finally, we will re-trigger EDF number 1.
Okay, had 2 re-triggers for a total of 0.3 turn of a turn. Had a green light, 6.3 on the torque.
Good install on EDF number 1. You can put your PGT away and then secure the EDF MLI flap covering the EDF separation plane using the Velcro.
Will do.
And all of the expandable diameter fasteners securing the degraded latching end effector to its stowage bracket, now firmly torqued down, a tight fit. Everything looking good. Next up for Vandehey and Tingle will be the removal and installation of a camera light assembly off of the degraded latching end effector onto the spare that ultimately will be installed at the end of Canadarm 2.
once you're complete with the crew lock bag.
I'll help out with that.
Yeah, you can help them out, and then we'll take glove hap checks from both of you.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to pop in these EDFs, even though they're not torqued, just so I can get the MLI over the top. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Copy.
All right, I got one down over here.
You can see Van de Heye working to place the thermal insulation cover over the degraded latching end effector, which on Monday will be moved to a different attachment bracket on the mobile base system rail car on the truss of the International Space Station to be used in the future if required.
There we go. What's slack I can give you? Dang it. Let me get around to that side. Maybe I can pull it in. Gotta get over this microcanonical. Should I think?
And
so I can't get in there. I got the scoop in my place. Keeps getting caught on the scoop.
And gentlemen, best effort is appreciated.
Okay,
it just needs to be.
Gave you a lot of slack.
Say that again, Mark.
Don't take away the slack yet. I'm sorry, I was talking to Maker. We're just trying to get over the EDFs. We're not trying to make it pretty. But I haven't gotten it over this EDF to fix it. All right. I got another EDF on this side. I got to get it over. Right here, I'm pushing on to give you some slack here. I can't do it yet. Oh, thank you. Let me get in a little farther. Wow, I just took off what I already succeeded in getting. All right, BRT's coming off.
Excellent view of Mark Van de Heye. Well into the third spacewalk of his career. He will venture back outside the space station's Quest airlock on Monday with JAXA astronaut Norishige Kanai to move a failed latching end effector that's on a stowage bracket outside of the station into the airlock. It ultimately will be returned to Earth on a SpaceX Dragon cargo craft for repair. The degraded latching end effector that the crew has just stowed on a temporary bracket on a spare parts platform outside of the Quest airlock will be moved to that attachment bracket on the mobile base system and can be used if necessary as a spare in the future.
See underneath? I think it's good now. Okay, and then make these covered. Velcro here. All right, you can pull it towards you. Okay. You get one covered. Okay, you got two covered.
MLI looks good, gents. Thank you.
All right. Yeah, looks like I've probably got one coverage here. Let me see if we can help you out. All right, we got it covered. We're good.
Okay. Yeah, we're happy with the MLI. We'll take a glove and hap check from each of you. So the next thing that we're going to do is install R&R
baseline gloves and dry hat.
Install.
You two's got baseline gloves.
No changes.
We'll change to the gloves. Good hat check.
Baseline, no changes. No changes for EV1 and baseline. Thank you. Next, we're going to set up for the CLA R&R. You can both translate to the aft side of the lee FSC toward the CLA removal position.
Okay, heading that way, Maker. Joe, and my safety tether is over that way. Copy. It's time for the warning. Yeah.
And something to think about based on how you want to remove the CLA. One of you needs to ret to the scoop installed on the CLA micro square, and you guys can decide who is retted to it. And please avoid contact with the lens and light surfaces and the mating and grounding points, connectors, and bolt threads.
Roger. I got a ret on the scoop. Thanks, Maker. If you work the uninstall, I'll be right there to do the install. Okay, that sounds good.
Sounds good.
See your safety tether? Your safety tether is over mine, so we'll just keep that in mind. Okay. All right. If you want to fair lead my tether under one of this, over this handrail, we can keep it out of our way. Or unless that's okay with you, where it is. Yeah, there you go. Cool. However you want it. All right.
All right, gents, we're about 30 seconds to sunset, and I've got PGT settings for, I believe it's Maker, when you're ready.
Stand by. Okay, I'm ready to copy.
Bravo 7, counterclockwise 2.
Bravo 7. Counterclockwise 2. I got it set.
And Maker, you can release...
Which one you want to do first?
You can release the mate-demate bolt. That is the micro square with the tether point. 8 turns. And then check the indicator button out.
With the tether point. Check the indicator button out. Roger.
Scott Tingle's view of the work that he is conducting from his helmet camera as the International Space Station flies 251 miles over Iran, moving from southwest to northeast, soon to cross the border into Turkmenistan and then Uzbekistan on this particular orbit of the Earth. Everything proceeding on track as we hit the 4-hour mark now into today's spacewalk. The crew is in the process of removing a 37-pound camera light assembly from the degraded latching end effector that has just been stowed on a temporary bracket on a spare parts platform outside the Quest airlock. It will be installed on the spare latching end effector that soon will be removed from an adjacent bracket on that platform and installed on the end of Canadarm2.
3 turns, 4 turns, 5 turns, 6 turns, 7 turns, 8 turns.
And between the micro square
turns on that one
and the target, check the indicator button is out.
Yeah, but what's out?
Okay, Maker, you can release the structural bolt, the micro square without the tether point, 8 turns, and check the indicator button.
turn. 2 turns. 3 turns. 4 turns. 5 turns. 6 turns. 7 turns. 8 turns. Okay, indicator button is out.
Copy, and now I've got new PGT settings for you.
Okay, ready to copy.
Alpha 7.
Anything I can do for you, Major, just tell me. Okay.
Alpha 7, counterclockwise 2.
Alpha 7, counterclockwise 2. They are set.
You can release the mate bolt. 8 turns, that's the one with the tether point. And a note, the CLA will be released from the lee between 11 and 13 turns, but we'd like you to release it all 8 turns.
Okay. One turn. 2 turns. 3 turns. 4 turns. 5 turns. 6 turns. 7 turns. 8 turns. Okay. We had 8 turns there, right? And that's complete.
Copy, and now you can release the structural bolt 8 turns. This will actually release the CLA from the lee. After 11 to 13 turns, you can release the structural bolt 8 turns.
Okay.
Structural bolt.
Okay, sounds good. And what's your location there, Mark? Say again? You're right there? Yeah, right here. Okay. 1 turn. 2 turn. 3 turns. 4 turns. 5 turns. 6 turns. 7 turns. 8 turns. We're complete.
Copy 8 turns. You can stow the PGT.
And the CLA is off.
Please inspect the mating surfaces for fodder damage.
To me, Maker, I'll actually give you back your red.
The mating surfaces for fodder damage.
You can hang on to. Oh, you got one on there already. We'll take that red. Ready. Maker, if then you're in a good config, what I'm thinking is...
The camera light assembly has been removed from the degraded latching end effector. Now Van de Hei and Tingle will move to the adjacent spare latching end effector to install this camera light assembly on it before the latching end effector is removed from the bracket and installed at the end of Canadarm 2. That would complete the major objective of this spacewalk.
I think I gotta get above you. Or I can just wait until you finish and then we can go back to where you start. Let's go for it. Nice. Not sure you're on though. You know, if you need me to hold something, I need to move my feet towards you. You know, if you pull my feet in, it'd be great. All right. So that. Thank you. Wow, this is deluxe. Yep, I got my arms. I'm hugging you. Okay, perfect, Maker. Thank you. You got it. So, I see. Good. The orientation correct. Mike, I'm getting ready to soft dock this.
Okay, we have a great WVS shot. You can confirm there's no fodder damage in the spare lee mating receptacle. Then you can soft dock the CLA on the spare lee.
Okay, that's in work. And, yep, confirmed no fodder damage.
All right, the soft dock will hold it on there. It's got a magnetic soft dock. I've got PGT settings for you when you're ready.
Copy.
And I've got a recommended BRT location.
Magnetic soft dock.
But
I'm talking about.
It sounds like you're already...
8007.
Okay, all right. PGT settings, Bravo 1, clockwise 2.
Bravo 1, clockwise 2. And this is going on to the demate bolt with the tether point?
Negative. We're going to start with the structural bolt without the tether point. You can install the structural bolt without the tether point 15 to 18 turns to a hard stop.
Copy, 15 to 18 turns to a hard stop. So, about 19 turns. I didn't get to a hard stop yet. Now I'm going to keep going, Ike.
Yes, keep going, Mark.
Thank you. Well, that was a hard stop. I got 19.46 turns, green LED, torque of 12.1.
And Mark, please check the indicator button in. Those are good numbers.
The indicator button is fully in.
Copy. You can install the demate bolt to a hard stop. That's without, the one with the tether point.
In torque settings?
Bravo 1, clockwise 2, same settings.
And that's the same settings?
Same settings.
Double checking, Bravo 1, clockwise 2.
Same settings.
And to a hard stop, right?
To a hard stop, approximately 15 to 18 turns. And we're 2 minutes to a handover.
I counted 19 turns, green LED, torque of 12.0. On the handover?
50 seconds to a handover, and check the indicator button in, please.
50
seconds to a handover, and check the indicator button in.
Okay, we've got to check over the scoop. Stand by. Got the indicator button in. Very nice.
Copy, that's a good install. Those are good numbers. And you can retrieve the ret.
Nope.
You can retrieve the ret from the installed scoop.
Copy. So that assist maker, that was huge. Yeah, no problem. It's all about position. All right. You have space to get around there? I think so. I'm just getting my load here. All right. So I gotta go underneath here, right? I can climb up.
Okay, gents, we're back with you from the handover. And once that red is retrieved from the scoop, Sabo will take a glove and HAP inspection. Actually, we'll take a glove and HAP inspection from both of you.
Copy. You were talking about with the tethers? Yeah. Good call. Okay, so one, gloves are changed.
Copy, Sabo.
Got it a little too early. Well, now, one, gloves are no change, half is dry.
Okay,
Needed to,
copy.
Gloves are baseline and half is dry. Hey, what's the next move?
Oh.
Am I going to be moving the APFR, or am I getting into the APFR?
Mark, you're going to adjust the APFR to a yaw of 4, and Maker, you're going to translate to the EDFs on the spare lead. We're setting up to retrieve the spare from the FSE.
Oh, shoot, Maker, sorry. I think this made you go away from where you were. Ah. All right. All right, so I'm going, yep. All right, Ike, sorry, man. Just tell me again where I'm going.
Okay, I think that was Sabo asking. Sabo, you're going to yaw the APFR boot plate to a setting of 4. And Maker, you're going to translate to the EDFs on the spare lead. That's the pivot bracket, and you're going to the EDFs.
That's the place you're, okay, so is that the aft, that's the aft side, right?
And yeah, the aft side would be a good position.
Okay.
You want to be able to inspect EDFs 3, 4, and 1.
Okay, copy.
Actually, I take that back, Maker. EDFs 3 and 4 are on the forward side. So over to you. What body position you think you need to be in?
Forward side here. All right, we'll try it from the what's the left side there. It's okay, let me see what we got for numbers there. You just get in position while I'm over here, Mark, and then I'll get to where I need to be. Okay. I'll try to do this quick. Yep. 4, like which EDFs did I need to, did that ED2 need to have access to?
EDFs number 3, 4, and 1. And copy a yaw of 4.
Okay, copy. All right. And done with the APFR, Maker. Okay, as soon as you're up above, I'm going to go low. Oh, so I got ingress. Yeah, or just, I just need to go, I don't want to get her tethers tangled up. That'll work. So let me get up high, okay, which involves an ingress. I can go under here from right here if you want. Let me get my waist tether off of there. Yeah. Wrap it around my TTT twice. Make it going high. All right, I'm going underneath you. Alrighty, looks good. I'm going to move your tether up just a little bit. Oh, it's going to be up anyway once you get up there. Good.
And Mark, you are correct. You are going to ingress the APFR, and then you can ret to the spare lee handrail.
Copy.
And Maker, I see a WVS image full of EDFs. If you could verify each remaining EDF has at least one retention lanyard intact. That's 3, 4, and 1.
Yeah. Let me get a local down here. Okay, I see lanyard number 2 that's still pulled out, and we've got good, it's pulled out, and we've got 2 good lanyards. EDF 3 is in, has 2 good lanyards. And we get the Velcro off. This is a Velcro we can reach before. Okay. And number 2 has the 2 good lanyards.
Copy, Maker, and EDF number 4 and number 1, please.
Okay, so I'm seeing number 4. It has 2 good lanyards.
Copy.
And let me look for 1.
And number 1 would be the station aftmost EDF.
And and 2 good lanyards on number 1.
Copy. And set up BRT as required. We're going to release those EDFs at a Bravo 7 counterclockwise 2 setting.
Okay, which ones are we going to do first, or does it matter?
3, 4, then 1.
Yeah, 4, 1. Looking for a handrail. You guys have any recommendations? I see one in there.
So the whiff extender was a good option in the pool. Let us know what you think of that one. The handrail on the whiff extender, obviously.
Yeah, it's good. It's pretty far out. Let me change my body there. I have I'm in the APFR and I'm ready to the spare lee.
Thanks, Abo. And Maker, on the FSE, there's a handrail 8008. That's another good one.
Yep, I'm not going to be able to BRT at 808. I won't be able to reach the ones on the first side, but let me try. Got a BRT on the whiff extender. Okay, which one you want to do first?
Okay, release EDF number 3, 5.5 turns, and pull the lanyard. PGT settings Bravo 7, counterclockwise 2.
Sure.
And Mark, if you would verify for us that you are ready to the spare lee.
I am ready to the spare lee.
Thank you.
Sorry, RT position's not going to work for 3 for me.
Copy.
Give me a second.
And Maker, is that both of those handrail BRT locations, or are you moving to another one?
I'm gonna move up to forward to get 3, and then I'll move back for 1.
Okay, copy that. And there are some FSC handrails up there.
Yeah, exactly. If you're going to have a chance to glance up, go for it. Okay. No problem at all. All right, there's a good view. All right, now you've been able to get 3 and 2 here, real easy. Hey, Bravo 7, counterclockwise.
Bravo 7, counterclockwise 2, and you can release EDF number 3, 5.5 turns and pull the lanyard.
Sure. One turn, 2 turns, 3 turns, 4 turns, 5 turns, and a half.
Copy, 5.5 turns.
All right, pulled out to the lanyard.
And pulled into the stop.
Pulled out to the lanyard.
Copy, you can set up to release EDF number 4, and that's the one facing station forward.
Any chance we can do 2 right now while we're here?
2 is not in. It's 3, 4, and 1.
Oh, I'm sorry, 4. Okay, so I can do 4, right?
Number 4, affirm, station forward. You can release EDF number 4, 5.5 turns and pull the lanyard.
Okay, excellent. Sorry, got the numbers going the wrong way. Yeah, I noticed it too. One turn, 2 turns, 3 turns, 4 turns, and there's 5.5 turns. Notice the head was coming off the thing. Let me see if we were out. Might not have got full turns on that. It's out.
Copy.
Very good. All right, I need to, oh, actually, I think I can get the next one.
Okay, the next
Rotating it a little.
The next one is EDF number 1, station aft. And Mark, please verify positive control of the lee, and when you are ready, you can give Maker the go to release EDF number 1.
I have positive control of the lee. Maker, you go. Copy.
This is Mission Control Houston, approaching the 4.5-hour mark into today's spacewalk as Mark Vandehei and Scott Tingle continue in rather brisk fashion to work through their tasks for the installation of a spare latching end effector at the end of the Canadarm2. The camera light assembly has been removed from the degraded latching end effector that is residing right now on a spare parts platform, and the crew is now working to release fasteners holding the spare latching end effector from an adjacent bracket. That's the component that will be installed at the end of Canadarm2.
That one's out.
And if you can verify all 6 EDFs are extracted.
That's it. I'm still working on getting that last one out.
Roger.
Mark, any chance you can push? Get some sideways on it. Push towards me, towards the aft side. Or aft, like towards you? Yeah, tilt it aft. Tilt the other left. Okay, 90 degrees left. Towards your left. Yeah, I don't know if you can see my hand right here. I can see your feet, so I know which way you're oriented. Okay, I want you to push from my feet to my head. Oh, okay, opposite. Yeah. Okay, then kind of wiggle it back and forth a little bit. Almost. So it's a little stuck. Like, I might be putting side loads on it just by holding on to it. Is that possible? Yeah, it feels it's rattling around in there. I just can't pull it out, so it is possible. So maybe I'll barely touch it. Okay. And then if you're barely touching it with anything but the EDF, it should come right out. Yeah, that might be the problem. I'm pretty close to it. All right. Let me try that. It feels like one of the colettes is stuck.
A good view of Mark Vanderhei, extravehicular crew member number 1, wearing the suit bearing the red stripes as he looks directly at 2 latching end effectors. The one on the left is the degraded latching end effector that was removed a short time ago from the end of Canadarm2. On the right is the spare that will be removed from its bracket and installed at the end of Canadarm2 to restore full functionality to both ends of the Canadian robotic arm. The degraded latching end effector removed earlier today in the Spacewalk has had some degradation of its internal snares that are used to grapple onto components and visiting cargo vehicles that arrive at the International Space Station. It will be mounted during a second spacewalk by Vanderhei, who will be joined on that one on Monday by Norishige Kanai of JAXA to install the degraded latching end effector onto a payload attachment bracket on the Mobile Base System rail car.
It's not coming. It feels like it's stuck on one of the colettes.
Okay, Maker. Then you can put the hook back and we will put 2 more turns, same PGT settings, Bravo 7, counterclockwise 2, for 2 more turns.
It's pretty loose. Can I turn it by hand?
You have a go turn by hand.
It's out. I'm out? Yeah. Nice. All right, I have the lead. Hey, you got the lead? Yep. Thanks.
Okay, verify all 6 EDFs are extracted and you can release the spare leaf from the soft dock on the pivot bracket.
let me see here. One. And there we go. All right, all 6 are extracted. Okay, I have it. The proof is in the pudding, right? Yep. All right, let me clean up over here and I'll come rotate you.
Good words, Maker.
Maker, when you're coming back here, could you look? I think I got a mini workstation. I'm sorry. I think I have the ingress A jammed under my DCM somehow because it feels like it's... Okay, I'll take a look. Anytime.
The spare latching end effector has been freed from its bracket on the spare parts platform outside of the Quest airlock, soon to be transferred for installation at the end of Canadarm2.
Comes the sun. You betcha. All right. Yep, you do got it jammed up under there. Let me, I'll talk you through it and see. Okay. MLI out of the way. Alrighty, so the only way to get it out of there is to pull it forward towards the lee. Now offload it by coming down. It looks... Maybe what I can do is, I still have the lee. Okay, I'll move my T-bar down. No. Okay, I can feel it. Yep. That's it right there, right? Yep. And you got to pull, yeah, there you go. Now it's free. Thank you. Okay, and it's a little bit forward though, so careful with the lee. Copy. Going underneath you. All right, now we got to rotate you. That's where we started.
Hey, firm, we're pretty much going to undo the maneuver we put in earlier. Sabo,
Okay.
you are the shock absorber. Don't lock out your knees or elbows and make sure your heels are out in the APFR.
I'm going to lean back if no one disagrees. All right, so we're going backwards this time. I got that maneuver down already.
Hey, firm, the first one's going to be to a roll of Charlie.
Roll of Charlie, okay.
Sabo, you can give Maker a go when you're ready.
Yeah, and go, Maker. Yeah, I'm sorry, I need to get a local just to... Go. Yeah. All right, you ready? Ready. Trying to get you back. There's so much momentum going. Wrong direction. Okay. Quick get the angle. All right, here we go. Nice. Okay, get you to Bravo. Doozy on my forearms. There we go.
Very nice. Very nice.
That's Charlie.
Looks like that earlier practice maneuver paid off. Nice job. And while you're in this position, once maker is clear, Mark, you can rotate the lee 180 degrees so that the EDF bolts point toward your head.
Maker will talk about it. Okay, I am clear. Okay, I'm going to rotate the lee. They have at it. I can see the connectors. They look pretty clean. Oh, nice call. Hey, I'm on the SSRMS too. I haven't looked up there yet. Okay, no problem. I will before I come back. Okay, I have the lee rotated. I see the wrist cluster.
Copy. And once maker is in position, Mark, you can give him a go. Maker, you're going to yaw to 12.
Okay, I got a great look of factors on the end of the arm, and they all look clean and correct. And I'm going for
a health check of the spare latching end effector that Mark Vanderhei is currently in possession of, being assisted by Scott Tingle as they move it to the end of the Canadarm2 robotic arm, where it will be installed a short time from now. A similar replacement set of spacewalks were conducted back in October by Vanderhei and Randy Bresnik during Expedition 53. So this is familiar territory for Vanderhei. The International Space Station now on a daylight pass over the South Pacific, moving from northwest to southeast at an altitude of 251 statute miles. This view now from Scott Tingle's helmet camera, visible the red stripes being worn by Vanderhei on his extravehicular mobility unit. Vanderhei will also play the role of EV1, or extravehicular crew member number 1, next Monday when he ventures back outside with Japanese astronaut Norishige Kanai for a follow-up spacewalk that will bring a failed latching end effector inside the Quest airlock and move the degraded latching end effector that has now been temporarily stowed on this spare parts platform. It will be moved to a more permanent location on the mobile base system on a payload attachment bracket to be used if necessary in the future. Kanai will become only the 4th Japanese astronaut to conduct a spacewalk next Monday, following in the footsteps of Takao Doi, Soichi Noguchi, and Aki Hoshide, who is on console today, working spacecraft communication duties at the Capcom console with Victor Glover.
Right foot's on top. Right foot's touching the outside. All right, it was on top of the foot loop. Yeah, okay. Toe loop.
4 hours, 43 minutes into today's spacewalk. Mark Vande Hei on the right, Scott Tingle on the left, as they begin work to align the spare latching end effector to the end of the Canadarm2 robotic arm.
For yaw pedal. Left foot's inside the toe loop, right foot's inside the toe loop. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, baby. No practice. Hey, brother. All right, we're in. Yeah, it was outstanding. Nice work. Ouch.
Very nice work.
All right.
Very nice work. And you can...
got it done in under half an orbit.
You can work together to rotate the spare lead to match the alignment markings. Barber pole to barber pole, black bar to black bar. The barber pole is near EDF1. The black bar is near EDF4. And you can align it with the SSRMS for install.
The spare latching end effector now installed at the end of Canadarm2, not yet bolted into place. That's next.
Is that right? Nope, it's got to kind of rotate. Yeah. Like this? Yeah, a little bit like that. That's close enough. We can tidy it up when we get it closer. Okay. And if you get it closer, I'll grab a handle down here. All right, nice and easy. I'm going to rotate it. It's got to come a little bit further right. Check all the EDFs. Okay.
And yes, please verify all EDFs are fully extended before install.
Hey, we got a soft dock. Got a soft dock. Yeah.
Nice. Okay, we're going to set up for initial install. Remember to apply positive force when driving. You can insert the EDFs into the SSRMS wrist joint ring. Mark numbers 4, 5, and 6 in maker 1, 2, and 3. Verify no gap between the washers.
I got 3, 4, and 5. Maker got 6, 1, and 2. Yep. There's a very small gap. Working on 3.
How small is very small? Less than 1/8 of an inch is awesome.
Actually, looks like about 1/8 of an inch, but let me check this one. Looks like 3's going to be problematic. Yep, about 1/8 of an inch on all of them. Actually, it's coming out. I haven't gotten bolt 3 in. Okay, taking my ingress aid off of here so I can lean further forward. Yep. Bolt 3 Ike, it's not going in, I'd say it's more like a 1/4 inch out. As you tighten up the collates, it seems to seat in there better. Yeah. Yeah, I see threads above the collet, between the collet and the washer. So, you want us to do? So I'm turning them by hand, and the gaps are getting better, and there's a nicer fit.
Copy. Keep doing that. Let us know if you can get that one in. And that's EDF number 3 you're talking about, correct?
Yep, and it looks like it's the ones that both Maker and I are having the hardest time to reach, are the ones that are having a hard time getting in. So basically, if I'm right, correct me if I'm wrong, Maker, but 4, 5, 1, and 2 are all in really well. Yeah, it looks like Maker's got his in all the way. Yeah, it looks like one, I'm sorry. and C, they both kind of just pop out as soon as we stop pushing on them. Yeah, they're loose. If you tighten them up with your hands just a little bit, you'll feel them kind of seat, and the gap will close up and they'll maintain a good position. Yeah, I agree with Maker, but I'm thinking this problem's going to go away once we start tightening them up.
And you also want to make sure the EDF hex head is engaged in the mounting ring, and that actually could keep it out. I want to say it was like a quarter to half an inch that it might stand proud if it's not seated on that hex head inside. So twisting it a little bit might help.
But my question is that really important before right now, or can we wait until before we drive those bolts that are really hard to access? They have to rotate their arm to do that, don't we?
We're at 2 minutes to a handover. Gents, we need all 6 of them pushed in. If you need to, you can take a foot out of the APFR. Oh, stand by.
They're pushed in, but there's a bigger than 1/8 of an inch gap. You know what I'm saying? That Maker is, problem's going to go away. Yeah, copy.
Okay, gents, yes, we need all 6 pushed in with a good gap check prior to driving.
All right. What I saw in Maker's, he got his pushed all the way in. As we're moving the arm around, it just kind of slowly comes out. All right. We'll work on it.
Copy. And if you need to, you can take a foot out of the APFR. Copy.
That's done. It's going to help me.
And gents, if you're still seeing them back out a little bit, once you get them in, you can turn them by hand to snug them up. Once they're inserted, putting a few turns on them in the drive direction can start to collapse the collet and expand the EDF so that it stays in. 15 seconds to a handover.
We're between tracking and data relay satellites here. Just a momentary loss of signal. We'll pick up communications from the station a short time from now. The International Space Station flying over the South Pacific. We're now at the 4-hour, 51-minute mark into today's spacewalk. The spare latching end effector is soon to be installed at the end of the station's Canadarm2 robotic arm to complete the major objective of this spacewalk, the first of a series of spacewalks over the next 10 days by American, Japanese, and Russian crew members on board the International Outpost.
Pretty soon. It's locking up right now.
While we have a moment, just a reminder, next Monday, January 29th, the next spacewalk to be conducted as part of this pair of spacewalks to replace this particular latching end effector and to shuffle around spares and failed components will be conducted by Mark Vandehei and Norishige Kanai of the Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency. We're back to our normal coverage next Monday, beginning at 4:30 a.m. Central Time, 5:30 a.m. Eastern Time, for a spacewalk expected to begin around 6 a.m. Central, 7 a.m. Eastern. And on February 2nd, the next Russian spacewalk at the station will be conducted by cosmonauts Anton Shkaprov and Alexander Mazurkin. That Russian spacewalk scheduled to begin with our live coverage at 8:30 a.m. Central Time for a spacewalk start about an hour later.
Really easy. There was a pitch setting. It's just one click towards this for both of us. Yeah, I agree.
And Mark, if we're still talking it over, if you could keep working it a little bit.
I'm out of APFR completely. There you go, your left boot's almost in the tail. Right boot's almost in the tail. In the tail. Very nice. Not there yet. No, just gotta lean back a little bit and get the boot down. Yep. Nice job waiting for the rates to settle. Thanks. All right, and just a heads up, your safety tether is between your legs. It's not tangled on anything, but when you get out, you just kick it out. Good call, Maker. All right, so I'm not successfully turning this by hand. It is going into an eighth of an inch. I'm turning it. All right, that's good. Good now.
Sounds good. Thank you.
It's time to get some power tools on this thing.
We agree. Let's set up for initial install. I've got PGT settings for you both when you're ready. And the order is going to be 5, 2, 4, and 1.
5, 2, 4, 1. All right, I'm ready for 5.
PGT settings are Bravo 2, clockwise 2.
Bravo 2. Clockwise. Excellent. Bravo 2 to torque.
Mark, you can drive EDF 5 to torque.
Thank you. That was 3.44 turns, torque of 16, and a green LED.
Copy. Initial install on 5. And Mark, if you put any turns on those other EDFs, can you give us those now? If you put turns on by hand.
On 5.
Any of the additional ones.
Turns on by hand. The only one I took turns on by hand was both EDF number 3. I'd say that was probably quarter turn at most.
Copy. Quarter turn on 3. Thank you. Okay, good. Initial install on EDF 5. Maker same settings. Bravo 2, clockwise 2. You can drive EDF 2 to torque.
Okay, here we go. Okay, we had 2 turns on that. MC and an eighth of a gap. Green light with 15.9 on the torque. Actually, it's still loose. I don't know why it torqued.
Okay, Maker, if you can drive EDF number 2 to torque again. and apply positive force.
All right, now I'd like to take EDF2 out, just because the tether got pushed underneath in the gap. I don't want to crush it.
Hey, Maker, we're checking on whether or not that's a big deal. Stand by.
Okay.
Okay, Maker, we are going to have you release EDF2 to remove that lanyard. We're grabbing some settings for you now. Stand by.
Yep.
Okay, Maker, PGT settings Bravo 7 counterclockwise 2.
Bravo 7 counter 2, and how many turns you want?
2 turns.
One turn, there's 2 turns. Big. Oh, that makes me feel better. Okay, it looks good now. Okay, and I got to push back in. Catch, Maker.
Okay, copy.
Okay.
Okay, Maker, Bravo 2 clockwise 2, drive EDF2 to torque.
Okay. One turn. Turns. Turns. It was about 4 turns. Green light, 15.9, and it looks beautiful.
Copy initial number 2, Mark. You can drive EDF number 4 to torque.
All right, that's gonna work.
Having just passed the 5-hour mark into today's spacewalk, Scott Tingle and Mark Vandehei using a pistol grip tool to secure these expandable diameter fasteners, the EDFs, as you have heard them referred to. They're basically locking and stiffening mechanisms that provide rigidity between the newly installed latching end effector at the end of the Canadarm2's B side with the wrist of the robotic arm. So we are nearing completion here of the installation of all of these connecting mechanisms. There will be a mate-demate mechanism that will also be bolted into place as